Right, on the Allcity Taxi Talk Show this week, we have MC KG Demo, who was in the 1980s hip-hop group, the London Rhyme Syndicate, and has also just released a book called, what's the book called, B?
Finding the Music Inside.
Finding the Music Inside. So we're going to be touching on the book. We're going to be covering KG Demo's early history. This is quite an unusual chat for me, because obviously I usually do this in the back of my in the back of the cab. So because we've got this lockdown thing going on, I'm now going to carry on with the interviews via this. So I think it's quite important that we try and carry on.
Yeah.
And also before we get started, I want to give a massive shout out to all the doctors and the nurses throughout the whole world battling this virus. And basically all the key workers out there, doing their thing. We've got to give them a huge, amount of respect for what they're doing.
You know what? Also, I want to just do a big shout out to my brother Ty, man. We are with you, brother. Yeah. We are with you, brother.
Without a doubt, huge shout out to Ty, and Ty's going to get through this. So
that's right.
We're in Ty's corner, fighting with him alongside him.
That's right.
So right, B. So first question I always ask is, where are you from, and what was it like growing up?
I was from Northwest London, Northwest 10. I grew up in an area called Kensal Rise, and I moved around like the Harlesden area. Growing up for me, it was cool because out the area where I lived, it was predominantly Jamaican, Irish, and Italian.
Right.
And it was just community, man. It was a village. It was like there was no bad vibes. It was all good.
And what music was you growing up on? Was it kind of like all styles of music, bit of reggae and?
It was mostly like reggae, calypso, and you know what I mean? That kind of two-step vibe. You know what I mean? Because that's what my parents were into. But my mum was also into a bit like Al Green, and
right.
So I had some of the old soul. You know what I mean as well. So Marvin Gaye. So I had a mixture of like the reggae, the soul, and my dad also had those 78 records, you know what I mean?
Shaving Cream. Wow.
Yeah, that's right, man. All those old school style, you know what I mean? And then a lot of Studio One stuff as well. Because also in the area we had Java High Power and Coxon as well. So
they were the sounds playing around your area.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean
kind of like
up around our way it was Saxon and Jar Shaka.
Yeah, you see, I love Saxon, man. I used to get the Saxon tapes from my cousin.
I'm South East London, so yeah, it was Jar Shaka and Saxon. They were playing in the parks around our way, but they're kind of like, you could say, they're our foundation.
That's right, because that's what I find interesting, like with the foundation of hip hop. A lot of the times we go to the Bronx, but Kool Herc came out of Jamaica. He came out of the sound systems.
That's right.
So do you know what I mean? So in the same way that it was birthed in America, we had the sound systems over here firsthand as well. Because a lot of those guys from Jamaica came to England. So we was getting it firsthand through the sound systems.
100%. And that kind of reggae style of chatting, like toasting, that was basically, you could say, like early rapping, early MCing.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And I think they said the first one was Count Machuki in Jamaica. Wow. And it was like that toasting and even like the instrumentals, the dubs, and messing around with the dubs and the DJ.
The echo chamber.
Yeah, that's right. Those guys were like way ahead of their time. They were way ahead of their time what they were doing.
Big time. And then little sounds, little unique sounds they put on the end, and yeah, it's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, that's right. Because even now they're still using the foghorns and stuff like that.
Yeah, still popping off. People are still using sirens and all that kind
that's right. That's right.
So what kind of sparked it off? How did you get into hip hop?
My brother played me Kurtis Blow, The Breaks. And I listened to that track, and it was the first time I was like, I listened to something that I could do, because although I loved the reggae, I loved the toasting, because Papa San was my DJ at the time. He was such a lyricist, but my Jamaican accent weren't good. Right. I sounded like an English boy trying to drop it, you know what I mean? But when I listened to the breaks, I could do it. It was something that it felt like it fitted. And I listened to that beat and I just had it on rewind, and I just kept playing the instrumental and rapping Kurtis Blow's lyrics. And it was like, yeah, this is me.
So Kurtis Blow was a massive inspiration to you. Yeah,
yeah. And then I got into like Grandmaster Caz,
yeah,
and things like that. And funny thing was, even though Rapper's Delight came out before that, it was the Kurtis Blow joint that really, it gripped me.
That blew you away.
Yeah, it blew me away, man.
Well, it's such an incredible tune.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I remember when Dougie Fresh came out with the show, and they were playing at the Lyceum Theatre, and I couldn't get in. But I remember just staying outside just so I could say I was there.
Yeah, wow. That would have been incredible to watch.
Definitely.
And did you rep any other elements of hip hop? Was you breaking or popping, or did you, before that, was you trying to do like like robotics, all that kind of stuff?
You know what? I tried it, but then after going to Covent Garden and seeing the guys,
you thought, I can't take it to the next level.
Nah, I can only do that in my bedroom. these guys deserve a platform. For me, I'm a bedroom popper. But I saw Sidewalk and them guys, and even going down to Acklam and the skate park, the Hall of Fame, seeing Chrome Angels doing a bit of graffiti, I realized my little tag that I did needed to be hidden. Yeah, do you know what I mean? Because those guys were putting up pieces. Even like Nutriment, because Nutriment was around 83, 84, and them guys were tagging around Ladbroke Grove area, which was quite close to where I grew up. And it was like, well, these guys are on a different level, man. Loved it. I loved it, but I couldn't do it.
Yeah, no, big shout out to Nutriment and all them guys. I mean, London Bridge is falling down. I mean, what a tune that was when that came out.
That's right. It kind of showed us as well that we can do it, man. We could do it over here. I think around the same time, Dizzy Heights did Christmas rapping, didn't he?
That's right.
I got to do a lot of stuff with Dizzy because he did a lot of MCing for Rap Attack.
That's right.
Yeah.
Dizzy Heights was wicked. Dizzy Heights, yeah.
Yeah, man.
I used to see him down at places like Spats, and there was a jam called Rap Attack at the Shore Theatre. And
yeah, that's right.
Dizzy was at all the jams.
Yeah. Always ready to grab that mic.
Yeah, and Family Quest as well.
Yeah, that's right. I was talking to one of those guys yesterday from Family Quest.
It was at what, Emix?
Yeah.
Yeah, big shout out to Emix. If you're watching this, Emix, big shout out to you.
Yeah, Family Quest, man. Yeah. Phase 1.
Yeah,
all those old school guys.
That was all great. And what was kind of influencing you to write your lyrics? Was it kind of like everyday life?
When I first started, what really influenced me, it was almost like how larger than life hip hop was. And it was almost like, I loved the bragging and boasting, that vibe to begin with, because for me, it was like, we didn't have much to shout about. Do you know what I mean? It was, we just come out of the Thatcher era, we were still in the midst of Thatcher.
You win it, yeah.
And recession, there was like, we had the uprisings in 81. Do you know what I mean? And it was like, when I watched hip hop, it made us feel good about ourselves. So you know what? Yeah, I want to rap some things. You know, this KG Demo, I'm strong, I'm dope, I'm hype, I'm good. You know what I mean? We just picked ourselves up because you know what? It was good. And we created a culture that was ours, that we were positive in it. We were kings and queens. And it was for me that was the element I loved to begin with. It was just like, you know what? It's like a cartoon, man. Larger than life. And that's what I loved. And I could go on stage and I could jump around, dance around, get the whole crowd involved. And you know what? We're going to live our reality in this moment of time. No matter how negative it was outside, we're going to live our reality in this moment. Within this 4 minutes of this 12-inch, we're going to have fun, peace, unity, love, having fun, and we're gonna have a good time. and we're going to forget Thatcher. We're going to forget the fact that we might be struggling to find work and struggling to put food on the table. But in this moment right now, as a collective, we're going to party. So I love that.
And that's, you know, and that's exactly what it was back then. It was peace, unity, love, and having fun. And, you know, it was just such it was also being really creative, and, you know, it was fantastic, wasn't it, back then?
Oh, definitely, because if you think about the culture of hip hop, it's a culture that flips the script. It's the only culture I know that will take a piece of lino and turn that into a dance floor. The side of a beat up underground train or a bridge that has never seen a lick of paint in years and make that a canvas.
Make it look beautiful.
That's right, and make it a canvas for a work of art. You know what I mean? And I don't know, it brought color to the ends. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't think there's a culture like it.
Would you say, I mean, films like Wild Style and videos like the Buffalo Girls videos and all them kind of, you know, early films and documentaries were a big influence as well on the scene growing?
Definitely, yeah. Because it almost, sometimes if you're just doing something and it's just you, it's like all the negativity that can come at you. But when you start seeing it's happening in other parts of the world, it legitimizes what you're doing, and it really like takes it to another level. And you start seeing, you know what, these guys are getting films made about them now. It's not just records, it's gone to another level. Look at the way they're dressing. People in other genres now are starting to take cues from the genre of hip hop. Their language, how they dress, and it was almost like, it was just like a wave. So I thought the films were brilliant because the film put it on the map globally. Everyone was seeing this culture. Do you know what I mean? Tougher than leather. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I couldn't get enough of them. I couldn't get enough of them. I saw Wild Star. Oh, the Fat Boys, man.
Yeah, the Fat Boys, brilliant. Absolutely.
Oh, them guys were, yeah, brilliant.
Did you ever dabble with the beatbox?
No, nah. A friend of mine could beatbox, so he'd beatbox and I'd rap.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It's a shame. It's a shame we couldn't do a little live thing now, because I could do a bit of basic beatboxing while you could freestyle.
Oh, come on.
I'll leave that to the professionals.
Yeah. Oh, come on. I'm glad you said that.
And also, how did you get your name, MCKG Demo?
But what it was, we started a sound system called Freakeristic, and we got put on by a guy called DJ Lebke. He was part of DBC, which was probably one of the earliest pirate radio stations. And they put us on a carnival, and we was at carnival, and I was trying to think, because we used to play between the bands at Meanwhile Gardens, and we got a time where we were allowed to do our own little raps and stuff. So I put on an instrumental, and I thought, okay, I've got to think of a name. And I just thought, Knowledge Generated Demonstration, KG Demo. Yeah. So I just ran with that.
Yeah, no, it's a
wicked name. With that.
It's a wicked name. I mean? And you know, how did London Rhyme Syndicate, how did you basically, you know, form? How did you meet up?
Well, I was in I was in part of a sound called Freakeristic. We used to play soul and hip hop. And then there was a guy that lived on one road away from me called Dave, DJ D, and he was in a sound called Elite with another guy called Andy, who ended up being the Playboy Prince. As we kind of like was growing, we was playing at different venues, we kind of merged a bit. And then me and Dave, we just started talking. We just said, you know what, let's start a group. We could start a rap group, because we was all trying to live this hip hop life, you know what I mean? And we was in his house all the time. He had 2 techniques. He had the phonic mixer, had the 808 drum machine and the 909. And we were just trying all the time, just trying to write rhymes. But at that point, we was only writing rhymes for doing the sound system. So this was like 85, 86. And then by end of 86, we decided, you know what, let's start. And then what we was thinking, because, do you know what? LA's got their own rhyme syndicate. Ice-T, they've got their own rhyme syndicate. And we just thought to ourselves, innocently, why can't London have a rhyme syndicate? Why can't we be London's rhyme syndicate? You know what I mean? So we just thought, you know what, yeah, let's be London's rhyme syndicate, because we want to put London on the map. So that was really our thought, you know what I mean? Let's put London on the map.
And you firmly did as well. And you done a fantastic job. Can you tell me about your first kind of releases?
Yeah, Heart to the Core. We wrote it in '86. It was wrote in '86, but it was through a hip hop reggae MC called Longsy D. He took us into a studio and we cut an acetate. And it must have been, yeah, the end of '86. We entered a rap competition at Oasis nightclub, and the judges for the competition were Danny D and Tim Westwood, and the local DJ at the time was CJ Carlos. And
oh, wow,
I think Vasper, yeah, CJ Carlos, man, and Vasper the Vinyl Junkie used to play as well. And we entered that rap competition and we won it. And the prize was to go on Westwood show live on his show. I think back then he was on Capital. No, was he on Radio 1? No, he was on Capital. That's when he was on Capital. Or was it LWR? I can't even remember.
It might have been Capital.
Yeah,
just after LWR, probably.
Yeah. So we did it on Capital, and then we thought to ourselves, you know what, let's cut a record, because at that time the Music Alive label was just starting to rumble and bring stuff out. So we thought, you know what, let's cut a record. And we ended up meeting up with a guy called Edward Christie. He had a label in Kensal Rise, in that area, and he only had a band on it called the Cool Notes. And his record label was called Abstract. So we thought, you know what, I'll make a subsidiary label for you, and we can name it. So we called it Ryman Reason, because for every rhyme there's a reason. And we released Heart to the Core '87.
Can you
straight away jumped on the tour with KRS-One.
Wow. How was that? That must have been a massive highlight.
That was a highlight, because you know what, I loved him as an MC. I loved the knowledge he brought. I loved the way he represented South Bronx. I loved the way that he was ready to have a battle, because to me, he ticks all the boxes. He ticked all the boxes. He was like, you know what, he was trying to educate young people. He was trying to build it up. So yeah, I loved KRS-One. So when we talked to him, it was brilliant, because we all go on stage at the end and bust freestyles with him and stuff like that. But yeah, really, I enjoyed that. That was definitely hard.
KRS-One is an incredible MC, without a doubt. Did you ever do any kind of battle rapping as well? Did you have any battles against anyone?
Not really. The only one we really did have, we had one with the Syndicate, because the Syndicate weren't really happy that we had the name London Rhyme Syndicate, and that we had a little back and forth with them in Archway. And they had, like, I think Merlin. They had Merlin on tap for them as well, which was that's hip hop. You know what I mean?
I was a friend with Merlin as well, because Merlin was from my way, from southeast London, from Woolwich. So I used to see Blade. I used to see Blade. Blade used to beatbox, and Merlin used to MC on the back of the buses.
Well, you see, I'd love to see those guys now. You know what I mean? Because pioneers. You know what I mean? That's the one thing that kind of saddens me with hip-hop as a genre, especially in the UK. Within every genre of music, we remember those that went before us. Like, people still talk about the Beatles. People will still talk about bands from years back. Yet, I find, like, within hip-hop, we forget it after a couple of years, you know what I mean? Guys like Noddy and Fingers, Mike J, Demon D, Devastate, you know what I mean? Kamachi Sly, Rodney, you know what I mean? All those guys, you know what I mean? Pioneers. Pioneers, man. Stepski from Phase One. You know what I mean? We've got so many guys, and almost like we forget a generation at times. You know what I mean?
And like on the female, the Cookie Crew and the She Rockers.
Yeah, that's right. Moni. Even the Wee Papas, you know what I mean? They were a bit commercial with what they did, but guess what? They were putting hip hop on the map. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, man, Trouble and Bass. But Cookies were rough, man.
Yeah, when they done that Planet Rock, I mean, that was incredible.
Yeah, Cookies were rough, man. They laid it down, man. Susie Q, man. Dope MC.
Amazing.
He's dope, man.
And
loved it.
And B, can you tell me about, you know, can you give, like, it's a hard question, this, a very hard question, because there's so much music, but can you give me a selection of tunes, of tracks that kind of blew you away?
That blew me away, yeah. You know what really blew me away with Rebel Without a Pause?
Doesn't have to be hip hop.
Yeah, I'd say for hip hop, Rebel Without a Pause blew me away when it came out. It blew me away. Love That I'm Giving, Graham McRae. When that joint dropped as well, that was like, whoa, that was a game. It felt like a game changer. That's why we ended up using that as our chorus. But yeah, my references are most of them, majority of them are hip hop. I do like the Promised Land, the reggae tune, hip hop. Because I love Vibes by the Demon Boys. That track, I think they are such an underrated crew. Hold No Hostage. I think it was a game changer. Money Mad. I love Money Mad.
London Posse.
You know what I mean? Yeah, yeah. And then I did like My Philosophy, KRS One. Run's House. I thought, you know what, these guys are coming back, they're coming back hard. And you know what, I did like My Radio by LL Cool J.
Yeah, tune. Did you ever go to Basil, did you ever go to any of the old hip hop jams? Like, did you go to the Raising Hell tour, or did you go to go and see Public Enemy at Hammersmith in '87? Did you go to any of them?
I was backstage.
Was ya?
Yeah, I was backstage there because we got signed by Rush Europe. So yeah, it was backstage. That jam, to me, that is the best hip hop jam I've ever been to. '87, Def Jam tour. Rakim, I was that tour. You had Rakim, Public Enemy, LL.
Oh, the not you don't mean the Raising Hell tour in '86. You mean the Public Enemy?
The Public Enemy tour, yeah, when
in '87.
It's at '87, yeah, because I sort of went to the Raising Hell as well.
Yeah,
I get them merged together now. I'm getting old, bro.
Yeah. Because at the Raising Hell thing, you had Houdini, and Houdini.
That's right.
You remember when the DJ, he was cutting up Rocket with his trainers? He put 2 pairs of sneakers on each deck, and he was cutting up Rocket.
And do you know the funny thing is, I know everyone's got their favorite DJs. Do you know what I mean? They talk about, yeah, but I tell you what, Houdini's DJ,
Grandmaster D. Grandmaster D.
And LL's cut creator, not cut creator, Bobcat. I remember damn much when he started doing that with his trade. Did you remember how mad the whole Brixton went mad?
It was Hammersmith. It's
Hammersmith, Odeon.
Yeah,
it was the Odeon.
It was the Odeon. Yeah.
See, I'm losing my bits, man. That's why I've turned into an author, man. I can write it down so I remember.
Listen, that's why I'm doing the interviews now, because the older we get, the more we forget. That's
right, yeah. And you know what? It has to be documented. It's such a great thing you're doing, because otherwise our journey is not documented. Do you know what I mean? And it's such a rich history. It's so rich. Because I'll tell you something, it stopped so many young men and young women from turning to crime.
You know,
we could have been.
I speak to a lot of, I've spoke to a lot of artists, and including myself. There's one thing we all agree, is that music saved our lives.
Definitely. Because I don't know what I would have done, or what, because I weren't interested in school or anything. It didn't motivate me. It didn't connect with me inside. But for that hip hop thing, I tell you something, I don't know what I would have done. I don't know where I would have been. And I know that for so many, that, do you know what, that their lives would have been different. It was definitely a detour in the road.
Definitely.
Do you know what I mean?
And B, can you give me some of your kind of like big highlights from back then?
Yeah, big highlight. One would be definitely doing the KRS tour. One thing being, another one at Basildon Festival Hall, we was the headline act, and our support acts were the London, the Jungle Brothers and Queen Latifah.
Wow.
And also, do you know what, I'll tell you something I always look back at is the Brother Movement, doing that song for the 16th Parallel.
Yeah. And
coming together with like a lot of those artists from UK hip hop, just to do something positive and powerful, because to me, it's like, it transcended beyond music. We was trying to raise money for the Swapo freedom fighters. and singing about the cause of Nelson Mandela. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, I just thought, yeah. And even at that time, people were still protesting outside South Africa House, and he was still seen as a communist. And you know what I mean? Powerful. That, I think that's probably one of my most proud moments.
Yeah, so they're big highlights. Is there any kind of like advice that you can give sort of up and coming MCs?
Yeah, for me, it would be yourself and tell your story through your eyes. Don't try and tell your story through someone else's eyes. Don't try and elasticate your story by making it something it's not, because our stories are relevant and our journeys are relevant. And if we each tell our individual story, it never gets boring. Do you know what I mean? I just think, be yourself, man, and tell your story, your journey. And regardless of how it is, and regardless of what the content is, as long as it's your story and your journey, it's relevant. Yeah,
it's good, very good advice. And can you tell me? So let's talk a bit about the book. So what's happening with the book?
Yeah, I've self-published, called "Finding the Music Inside."
There it is. We see it. Yeah, hold it up a touch. Up a touch.
Yeah, and what it was twofold, because I like to read, and I've read a lot of the stuff about I read like Michael Chang's book, and I read a lot of the historical stuff, and it's always US, and I was trying to find stuff that is UK history, you know what I mean? And we haven't got much that talks about the historical, because really we need stuff around Covent Garden documented. We need stuff around like Acklam and the Hall of Fame and the graffiti artists, even like the likes about what happened with Sidewalk and the London All-Stars, just documented. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, I thought, you know what, I'm going to document my story, but not, and then I thought to myself, I don't want to just tell my story. I want it to have a coaching edge. I want it to have, to inspire people, to inspire them to find their music inside and follow it and chase their dreams. So I kind of amalgamated them both. So I kind of try and tell my story around hip hop and how it energized me and infused me, and use that to encourage people to chase their dream. So hopefully can tick two boxes as a book to inspire, but also a book to inform.
How can you buy the book?
The book's on Amazon. So it's the only place it's selling. It's on Amazon. So if you go into Amazon and put in "Finding the Music Inside" by Reynolds, you know what I mean?
So anybody watching this, go to Amazon and go and check it out. It's called "Finding the Music Inside."
That's right, man.
Yeah. So
we've all got music inside, man.
We all have. We're all a beating drum. We've all got hip hop from.
That's right. Definitely, man. And that's the funny thing. It's like, I say to people now, I always like to go where I'm loved. And for me, that's the culture. That's hip hop. Do you know what I mean? Because it's different than any other culture. Most cultures you go to, they want something. You know what I mean? You go into the business world and people want something for nothing. But you go to the culture in hip hop, you know what? People want to give. People want to build you up. People want to pick you up. People want to share. They're sharing their music, their skills, their styles. People are always posting that the graffiti that they're doing. People share and give freely, you know what I mean? So I just think, you know what? Nothing beats more than hip hop. Nothing.
You know that. And listen, anybody watching this, also share this interview, because what I'm trying to do is bring the history. So subscribe to this YouTube channel and try and share this piece of history with B, because it's quite important that we capture our history.
That's right. That's right. Because it's either we tell our story or someone else is going to tell it from a second-hand point of view, but we can tell our story because we were there. You know what I mean? So
100%.
Yeah. I want to reiterate, man, sign up to this, man. The Allcity Steve, man. He's keeping the history live. Come on.
Listen, all right,
salute, brother.
It's not in the back of the cab. It's from my bedroom. But who cares? Like, we're still doing this thing. And
that's right.
And I've also been in contact with quite a big some big players out in from the States. So hopefully there's going to be some big names coming through in this difficult time that I can interview as well, because we've got to try and keep this thing moving. You know, we're all in lockdown at the moment, so we're trying to, you know, try and keep positive and try and keep moving in this hard time.
Yeah, no, that's right. That's right. And the thing is, it's like so many people are suffering. You know what I mean? We need to relief. We need a relief. We need a release. And I just think this is so powerful. It's so powerful that you can change the narrative. It's a positive narrative that people can tune into instead of turning on the news and feeling so low and depressed and out of control. You know what I mean? This is something where they can tune in and have their spirits uplifted, which is what hip hop does.
100%.
So salute, brother.
And listen, we're all behind it. I mean, you know, I wish you was in the room now with us, Steve. You know what I mean? Because like, but you know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got to try and keep it positive out here. And as I said at the beginning, we've got to give a massive shout out to all the key workers, all the NHS staff, all the doctors and nurses all through the world trying to battle this virus.
That's right. That's right. And once again, big up our brother Ty, man. Yeah. Ty, keep strong, man. We're with you.
Big up, Ty. We're with you all the way on this. So yeah, what I'm going to try and do is turn this into a podcast and send it to someone so they can send it to Ty, so Ty can listen to this. So when you hear this, Ty, our love goes out to you.
Most definitely, man. 100. Definitely.
Listen, B, it's been an absolute honour chatting to you.
Oh, listen, I'm honoured, mate. I'm telling you, I'm honoured, mate, because I know you're the man, bro. So come on. Yes, man.
Yes.
Come on, touch that. Come on.
You know that. Listen, B, absolute honour talking to you. And I'll get this out. And then, yeah, as I say, anybody watching this, please share this around all the socials, subscribe to the channel, and yeah, let's keep things moving.
Yeah. Most definitely, man. Make sure this is shared, man. Yeah. Come on.